He thought she was just a lost little girl on a rainy night. But when her billionaire mother arrived, everything he knew about his life changed forever. If you love emotional, heart-touching stories that make you cry and smile at the same time, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel because today's story will melt your heart and blow your mind at the same time. It was one of those nights that soaked through your soul. Cold, silent, and endless. The rain poured down like the sky was mourning, and the lonely road outside a small town diner glistened with silver reflections. Daniel Reed, a single father and mechanic, was closing his workshop for the night. His hands were covered in grease, his eyes heavy with exhaustion, but his heart, it was still warm, still kind. He walked toward his truck, ready to go home to his 7-year-old son, Ethan, when he heard it, a faint sob. It wasn't loud, but in the dead silence of the rain, it pierced through everything. Daniel turned his flashlight toward the sound and froze. There, sitting under the flickering street light, was a tiny girl, no more than 6 years old. She was drenched from head to toe, her little shoes filled with water, clutching a stuffed bunny so tightly it looked like her only lifeline. Her brown hair clung to her face, and her big blue eyes shimmered with tears. "Hey, sweetheart," Daniel said softly, crouching down. "Are you okay? Where's your mom or dad?" The girl sniffled. I don't know. I can't find mommy." Her voice was trembling, fragile, like she hadn't spoken in hours. Daniel's heart broke in an instant. He took off his jacket and wrapped it around her shivering body. "It's okay. You're safe now. Let's get you warm." "All right." He brought her into his truck, turned the heater on, and handed her a chocolate bar from the dashboard. She held it like it was a treasure. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "What's your name, sweetheart?" he asked gently. "Layla," she said. "Lilia Grace." Daniel tried calling the local police, but the storm had knocked out the phone lines. His small town was half a world away from big city conveniences. He had no choice but to take her home for the night. When he walked through the front door, Ethan came running, his eyes wide when he saw the little girl. "Dad, who's that?" "This is Laya," Daniel replied. "She got lost. She'll stay with us until we find her family." Y'all looked scared at first, but Ethan smiled at her. The pure welcoming smile only a child can give. "You can play with my toys if you want," he said. "I've got a whole box." That night, Daniel made soup and tucked both kids in. He watched as Ethan handed Laya his favorite blanket, the one with little stars on it. "You can have it," Ethan said. "So you won't be scared." Laya whispered, "Thank you." And for the first time that night, she smiled. Daniel sat quietly by the window watching the rain. He didn't know who she was, but he could feel something deep inside that she wasn't just any lost child. There was something more. The next morning, Daniel drove into town and reported the missing child to the sheriff. The man took notes, said they'd do what they could, but Daniel could see the doubt in his eyes. The storm had wiped out half the area's power, and several people had been displaced. It might take days. So Laya stayed. One day turned into two turned into a week. During that time, Daniel grew attached. He fixed her broken toy bunny. He cooked her favorite pancakes. He even taught her how to draw in the workshop while Ethan laughed beside her. But what Daniel didn't know was that someone miles away was desperately searching for her. And when they found her, it would change everything he believed about his past. 2 weeks later, Daniel was under a truck fixing an oil leak when a sleek black limousine pulled up in front of his workshop. The door opened and out stepped a tall woman in a tailored gray coat and heels that didn't belong in this small town. Her presence was commanding, elegant, but her eyes, those storm gray eyes, were filled with raw panic. "Excuse me," she said, her voice trembling. "I'm looking for someone, a little girl, her name is Leah Grace." Daniel stood, wiping his hands on a rag. His heart skipped. "Yeah," he said quietly. "She's safe. She's at my house." The woman gasped, her hand flying to her chest. "Oh, thank God," she whispered. "Please take me to her." When Daniel brought her home, Leah was in the living room coloring with Ethan. The moment she saw the woman, she froze. Then, with a sudden burst of tears, she ran forward. "Mommy." The woman dropped to her knees, wrapping Leah in her arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Daniel watched silently, emotion tightening his throat. "I was so scared," Leah cried. "I thought you forgot me." "Never, baby," her mother whispered. "Never." After a long moment, the woman looked up at Daniel. "I don't even know how to thank you," she said softly. "You saved my daughter." "It's all right," he replied. "I'm just glad she's home." But something in her eyes told him there was more. Later, when the kids were asleep, she asked him to talk outside. Under the moonlight, she said, "My name is Clara Grace. I'm the CEO of Grace Tech Industries." Daniel blinked. Grace Tech was a billion-dollar company known everywhere. He hadn't expected her. "I don't usually tell people this," she continued, her voice breaking slightly. "But Leah wasn't supposed to be mine." Daniel frowned. "What do you mean?" Clara took a deep breath. 6 years ago, I had a surrogate. I couldn't carry children myself, but the clinic made a mistake. They switched the embryos. I only found out after she was born, and by the time I tried to track down the biological father, he had disappeared." Daniel froze. His mind started racing. What did you just say?" "The father's name," she whispered, pulling out a paper. Daniel read. His world stopped. He took the paper with trembling hands. His name, his old address, the date from years ago when his late wife and he had donated embryos before she passed away. "No," he whispered. "This can't be real." Clara's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't know until a month ago when Leah went missing. I had her DNA tested for any leads and the results led me here." Daniel stumbled back, his heart pounding. The little girl he had found on the street, the one who had smiled up at him like she'd known him forever. She was his. Clara wiped her tears. "I didn't come to take her away from you," she said softly. "You saved her. You cared for her like a father. I wanted you to know the truth." Daniel looked through the window where Leah slept peacefully next to Ethan. "She's always felt like mine," he whispered. "Now I know why." For a long moment there was silence. Then Clara smiled faintly. "Maybe she's meant to have both of us." And that night, under the stars, two broken hearts, a single dad and a lonely billionaire mother, found something they didn't know they were missing. A family neither of them expected, but both desperately needed. Sometimes life doesn't give us coincidences, it gives us fate. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more emotional stories like this one. Because sometimes one act of kindness can change everything.